All right, I'm only being half sarcastic when I say this, but maybe we should normalize kidnapping authoritarian heads of state. I want to preface this by saying the facts on the ground are still developing. It's way too early to know exactly what's going on in Venezuela. You can't trust what the Trump administration is saying, and they are going to do what they always do in these situations, is let out little tiny bits of information so that people can make assumptions that are wrong, and then they will come out and say, oh, you guys are clearly idiots because you made this assumption when this is the fact. So with all that said, it seems to be the Trump administration's justification that this is a law enforcement action, that Maduro is a criminal, and therefore it is completely justifiable for one nation to violate another nation's airspace, bomb their defenses, and then kidnap their law-breaking authoritarian ruler. If this becomes the way that the United States does business, this is now precedent, well, I think that Putin and Bibi ought to be real fucking nervous right now. And if this legal theory is legitimate for the United States to do, then why not anybody else? Say there is a head of state committing summary executions out at sea. These boats appear to be unarmed and completely incapable of defending themselves in any way. And those extrajudicial murders are illegal by that country's own laws. If we're staying consistent with Trump's legal logic, then maybe we should be liberated. I mean, we've got a head of state who is kidnapping people, who's making them disappear, who's holding them in confinement conditions that violate our laws. We've got a head of state who's committing summary executions. And we've got a head of state who's using the United States government to enrich himself and his family. The difference between Maduro and Trump are just really a few years in power. The damage that Maduro has done to his country, to Venezuela, is in many ways the same kind of damage that Trump is doing right now to our country. Upending the rule of law, violating human rights, the use of the government to punish political opposition and retaliate, using the government to personally enrich themselves and their families and their friends, the creation and use of a secret police force that is violating people's rights, disappearing people, and sometimes putting people in conditions that result in them no longer living. Things are still developing right now, but as they look, Trump's legal justification doesn't really put him in a very safe position.